Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is the fifth news on 1st February newspaper front page dawn. Third COVID wave feared due to early lifting of restrictions. Doctors want government to review decisions with improved focus on vaccination by Ikram Junaidi. Islamabad, with most of the COVID-related restrictions having been relaxed despite lukewarm response of even health workers to the government-run vaccination campaign, health experts fear a resurgence in number of cases that may compel the government to declare a third wave of coronavirus in the country. As 1,176 COVID-19 cases were reported in a day, the health experts don't spoke to were of the opinion that the government should have given priority to public health rather than financial concerns and advised the authorities to lift the restrictions only after ensuring that 70% population has been vaccinated against the deadly disease. Earlier on February 24, the National Command and Control Operation Center on COVID relaxed most of the restrictions on commercial activities, schools, offices, and other workplaces, allowing them to function at full strength. Under the directives, time limit on commercial activities has been lifted and the condition of 50% attendance at workplaces removed. Schools have been asked to function 5 days a week with full strength, permission to hold indoor wedding ceremonies and opening of cinemas and shrines has been granted with effect from March 15. The decision to allow indoor dining will depend on the outcome of the review meeting to be held on March 10. The NCOC also allowed increase in a number of spectators attending Pakistan Super League (PSL) matches from 20% to 50% and permitted full attendance during players with a stringent standard operating procedures SOPs. The Election Commission of Pakistan has also been allowed to hold local bodies and cantonment board elections by the end of May or early June. While talking to Dawn, Secretary General of the Pakistan Medical Association (PMA), Dr. Qasir Sajjad said, "We are living in a society where people do not allow the SOPs. They even laugh at those wearing face masks. We have already observed the results of a lifting of restrictions in September last year when 100 to 200 daily cases were being reported, and within a month, the government had to declare a second wave of coronavirus," he said. "I believe that restrictions should be lifted after vaccinating 70% population, as only then we can get herd immunity." Just 2 weeks ago, three cases were reported in Melbourne, Australia, though all three persons had arrived through foreign flights, but the whole Melbourne city was closed for 5 days. "It is unfortunate that we are taking even over 1,000 cases lightly," he said. Response to vaccination. Meanwhile, pointing out that response to vaccination drive in Pakistan was very slow, the PMA Secretary General blamed the government for it and said that no one at the helm had bothered to handle the issue seriously. Actors have been engaged for vaccination campaign rather than renowned doctors. How a person can get medical advice from an actor Moreover, advertisements should be shown during peak hours. Currently, we see government of advertisements during PSL matches, but we don't see a single and and a single ad on vaccination during matches. Also, data of healthcare workers who have been vaccinated so far is not being shared. We don't know how many general practitioners, nurses, etc. have been vaccinated, he said. Due to lukewarm response to the vaccination, Islamabad's biggest hospital, Pakistan Institute of Medical Science, PIMS, was warned its employees has warned its employees of disciplinary action. Joint Executive Director of PIMS, Dr. Min, Minhajus Siraj, and said that there was a very slow response by the HCWs, especially nurses, due to which he had no option but to issue a circular to expedite the vaccination. It is hereby directed that all registered PIMS staff must get vaccinated as soon as possible, otherwise strict disciplinary action will be taken against the defaulter as per rules. Read a circular. Dr. Siraj said, we are in a hurry to vaccinate HCWs as we have to open the outpatient departments. However, staff seems to be reluctant. Cases may bounce back. Unfortunately, the government was looking at the issue with a mere focus on country's economic growth rather than public health. Dr. Javed Usman, microbiologist, said while talking to Don. Possibly of a third wave cannot be ruled out. Possibility of a third wave cannot be ruled out. We are giving another opportunity to virus to bounce back. We should not forget that now we are more than one variant of virus in Pakistan, and that they are more infectious and transmissible. Luckily, they are as virulent as the previous types, but it is not a good decision to lift restrictions as cases are continuously fluctuating and we have been observing sudden spikes, he said. Dr. Usman said a new variant of virus that had been initially found in the UK, Brazil, and South Africa spread quickly into 92 countries, including Pakistan. We have removed social distancing in schools and the PSL matches by only declaring wearing of surgical masks mandatory. Surgical mask is almost nothing as compared to size of virus, which can even pass through N95 mask, the microbiologist added. In Pakistan, the first case of the novel coronavirus disease was reported on February 26, 2020. By, Jane, by June, the number of daily cases rose to 6,000 with strict restrictions in place. Cases started decreasing shortly afterwards. The government removed the restrictions with the result that cases surged again in October so much that the authorities had to declare it a second wave of virus and to impose the restrictions. The NCOC again lifted the restrictions on February 24, only weeks after the number of active cases started dropping. Federal Minister for Planning Development and the Special Institute Asad Umar, while talking to the media, had also warned the third wave of virus if the masses did not strictly adhere to the SOPs. Islamabad sees spike. Islamabad District Health Officer Dr. Zain Sia meanwhile confirmed to Dawn that the cases had been started increasing as the city reported 153 cases on Sunday. Since January 14, the number of cases had not crossed the 150 mark in Islamabad. A document regarding cases in the federal capital available with Dawn showed that the weekly positivity rate was 2.47% in the second week of January. It dropped to 1.61% next week, while in the first week of February it was just 1.57%. However, the weekly positivity rate again started increasing in the last week of February, that is from February 22 and until 28th, it climbed up to 2.65%. An official of Ministry of National Health Service requesting an official of Ministry of National Health Services requesting anonymity agreed that it was not a wise decision of lift restriction. Government seems to be focusing more on economics rather than caring about the health of people. I fear that within a few weeks the situation may start worsening and we may again have to impose restrictions. Unfortunately, we are not getting a positive response for vaccination campaign, and so far over 100,000 HCWs have been vaccinated. We can only achieve herd immunity if more than 50% population will be vaccinated, he said. Meanwhile, NCOC data showed that 1,178 cases and 23 deaths were reported in the past one day, while in total active cases were 21,836 and 1,994 COVID patients were hospitalized across the country. And in the end, the formal request, if you have not yet, please subscribe our channel and press the like and bell button to get the fresh from us. Thank you for watching. Have a nice time and goodbye.